Gone are the days when we had to stand in queues for booking bus or flight tickets or even pre-book hotels of our choice. With the rise in online booking websites, it has not only become convenient for customers to book but also get great discounts in them. However, many companies have entered this space but failed to capitalize and survive in such cutthroat competition. But there was only one company which never gave up and grew steadily to eventually become the leader in online ticket booking sector. Well, the company we are talking about today is none other than MakeMyTrip, and this is the success story of Deep Kalra. The founder and CEO of MakeMyTrip, born in Hyderabad, Deep went to St. Stephen's College, Delhi in 1987 to pursue Bachelor's in Economics from even to IIM Ahmedabad for an MBA degree. After completing his MBA, he took up a banking job at ABN AMRO Bank and was really excited about his first job. But just after 3 years, a sense of incompleteness added, and he decided that banking was not something that he wanted to do for the rest of his life. And soon, Deep quit ABN AMRO and took about an year to figure out what is to be done next. Later, in 1995, Deep got a lot of high paying job offers and he took a huge risk and joined AMF Bowling, an American company that was hoping to enter the Indian market to set up bowling alleys. However, at that time, hardly any of them back in India were interested to invest in bowling alley, but Deep put in his blood and sweat. But the competition was too tough that they were against big brands like McDonald's, which was making things even more difficult in terms of return on real estate. In spite of that, Deep managed to open 200 lanes and most of them were in small centers. Deep ran the business for 4 years and later decided to quit. Later, he took up a job at GE Capital to head business development. The year was 1999, and if someone was looking to open avenues, the internet was the obvious answer. And so, Deep met almost all the top players in the Indian internet space and helped GE growth via the internet. Later, after working for an year at GE and with some money saved in his bank, he began to that entrepreneurial years yet again, and likewise he decided to quit GE Capital. Now, Deep was amazed by the power of internet and knew how hard it was to travel in India. Well, entering travel segment was not only because of the need to provide a hassle-free experience, but it clearly thought out decision. Back at that time, e-commerce was very alien subsidiary and travel looked like the right choice to opt for. Mixing the idea with the right proper business model, MakeMyTrip was born in the year 2000. However, for India, the venture was too ahead of time as people were reluctant to use their credit cards online and did not trust non-established brands. But investors and industry experts believed in Deep and MakeMyTrip was successfully raising funds. However, after the dot-com bubble, the VCs refused the $1 million funding commitments. The time was really hard for Deep. He was 31 years old with a wife and a baby. At that time, when starting a dot-com website was insane and downside suicidal. But Deep and two senior managers brought back the equity in the business and had to reduce their employees to literally half. What was even worse was that he, along with his partners, had to let go from their salary and decided to work without it for the next 18 months. Taking some thoughtful, stern, yet intelligent decision, MakeMyTrip turned out to be one of those few companies who managed to survive the dot-com tsunami. And as the time passed, situation got better and the decision turned out to be fruitful as well. The business now began to bigger and was presented a decent customer base. Well, that is when IRCTC launched their first business model which enabled the Indian traveler to purchase railway tickets on the internet. This model of IRCTC was well accepted by the Indian masses and turned out to be a huge hit. Additionally, low-cost carriers had also entered Indian aviation space. Well, this change of events opened a whole new level of opportunities for the travel market in India. It was now time for MakeMyTrip to broaden its portfolio, and all thought this venture was too ahead of time for the Indian market. They took a risk anyway. As apart from flight booking, MakeMyTrip began by offering holiday packages and hotel bookings, which was followed by the tie-up with IRCTC's online business model. This move not only increased the presence in the railway ticket booking but also gave the must-desires boost that Indian market was looking for. And in no matter of time, the company started making really good revenues. The demand was so high that one of every 10 domestic flights in India were booked through MakeMyTrip. Within a year, the company had acquired 200,000 happy customers. As a matter of fact, when the world was in recession in 2008, the company was crossing the 1,000 crore valuation mark. The same year, the company had also recorded profits of $5 million, with gross revenue being approximately $500 million. Very soon, the company bought a lot of additions to existing profile, be it launching the flight booking service, adding short-run driven online mobile booking cabs, or creating several travel-related apps for all types of mobile devices. They made sure to leave no table unturned. And the biggest news that came to light was their listing on NASDAQ in August 2010. This also bridged the gap between the foreign investors and the Indian businesses, thus opening door for a pool of foreign investment in India in the IT sector. Additionally, this also boosted the confidence of young entrepreneurs in India, which gave rise to a lot of startups in the future. Since then, has majorly focused on expansion and up in the revenue, which is done through various mediums such as unique marketing strategies and product development, among others. Well, we have heard many a times that real business take a lifetime to build, and Deep's journey epitomizes the statement. Ahead of his time or no, Deep was glad that he took the risks when he did. Complete devotion for more than a decade and a laser-sharp focus is what has taken for MakeMyTrip to reach at this stage and scale to this level. Though the company faced their share of problems, they also managed to rise out it bravely and use these hurdles to reach far beyond the imagination. Thank you.